Yo, what's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup, last time here in Group E. I think one of the biggest groups in this year's Cross-Banlist Cup with, title candidate Dracopals, but title Mermails, Trishla Infernity and TeleDAD, of course, all still in the running. So the matchup of today here, we have Dracopals currently sitting at 4 points, deck of 2016, again one of the more recent decks here. This paired up against TeleDAD, also one of the best decks during its time, right? Back in 2008-2009-ish. So the first list we have, of course, TeleDAD, Oppression Dad, by the way. This should be Jerry Wang's winning Shonen Jump / YCS build. Only running one emergency teleport, but explanation for that was, putting it in a side deck against other matchups, of course, but main decking, and that's what I wanted to say, main decking the oppressions over the special summon cards, right? Quite crucial back then in the TeleDAD mirror match. Super fast deck, triple Destiny Draw, triple Allure, and only 2 Dark Arms still, but the triple Judgment again proving to be quite important of the Judgment Wars. At least everyone who played it during that format knows what I'm talking about. The second list we have Dracopals, very similar to Performance and Pals, but a weaker version. I can't really call it a slower version, since for me the key cards are here in this deck, meaning the triple Clash of Draco Rivals, Draco Face Off, and Wavering Eyes as well here in the deck, pre-Monster Rule 4, so full Pendulum summoning mechanic in effect, and of course the one of Monkey Board, but as I mentioned before, the Dark Draco version, right, with the Armageddonite, the Shadow Dragon to possibly send from your deck to the graveyard, Zephyros as well. So which deck has the advantage? Again, thanks for all the feedback, by the way, in the previous video of the predictions, and from what I see here, most people seem to, of course, prefer Dracopals winning over TeleDAD, but I see 2-1. See, I'm not really sure if people are they hoping to be that the particular match would be longer than like a clean 2-0 for either TeleDAD or Dracopals, right? So a lot of 2-1s, but Dracopals seems to come out on top here in this particular matchup. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop into the first duel. Okay, game number 1, TeleDAD gets to start, so I guess that's okay, especially if this particular deck is main decking the Royal Oppressions in the main deck. I do run a couple of draw cards with, the Destiny Draw and the Allure of Darkness, but sadly, nope, not drawing into the possible MVPs, meaning the Royal Oppression. Solemn Judgment can be good against like a Pendulum Summon, right? Get rid of their Pendulum Field, Pendulum Onslaught. During Master Rule 3, we know how ridiculous Pendulum Summoning was back then. It's ridiculous still, but in another kind of way. Anyway, the Wing Blast here is forced out. This opening end wasn't that great, and going for Stardust first turn I think was okay against, at least against Dracopals. I mean, they have the Eccentric Archfiend to potentially destroy monsters, or back row they have Ignister popping their own stuff, first, and then bouncing back something on your opponent's side of the field. Wavering Eyes, definitely one of the power cards of the deck back then, Wavering Eyes, turboing and setting up your extra deck, turboing to Monkey Board, by the way, and setting up your extra deck. But Reaper, I'm not really sure which card I discarded, but in the long run, the deck has like a gazillion outs, potential outs, to top deck and set up the scale, and again, pre-Master Rule 4, indeed, Master Rule 3. Again, you just need to set up your scale and then activate, quote-unquote activate, return from a different dimension. And I'm not really sure if he deliberately used the Ignister here, since again Stardust will just negate the destruction of his own card, but it potentially could have gone for something like Titanic Galaxy, but again, what is my deck going to do, right? I think I still have like 1 Malicious in my graveyard, so drawing into a Krebens maybe, making level 8 Synchro, but again, I don't think there is something to, first of all, deal with his board, and then second of all, get rid of his Pendulum Scales, right? So, yeah, whatever, right? So game number 1 goes to him. Game number 2, I get to start again. this is definitely an okay opening hand. I believe double allure will be activated soon, so normal summon the Stratos to immediately search out the malicious. Potentially you can search Diamond Tooth as fodder for Allure of Darkness. Going to banish the Dark Arm Dragon because of the Royal Oppression in the main deck. Not really sure if he has too many outs for Oppression. Well, the normal summon of Armageddonite into Shaddoll Dragon. Shaddoll Dragon indeed to pop something from your opponent. Or Archfiend Eccentric, of course, but Mystical Space Typhoon can deal with the Eccentric here in this case, and Royal Oppression here is in full effect and definitely needed, right? I miss with Diamond Tooth, so that's a small bummer. But the Wing Blast can definitely help by stopping, is it Vector? I believe the name is Vector, bouncing it back to the top of my opponent's deck. So yeah, and again, it's becoming like not really a grind game, but a slow game and constantly missing with Diamond Tooth. Hopefully, you know, get lucky. I was lucky from what I can remember in the previous duels, like revealing Destiny Draw or whatever, right? I think I was forced to use Judgment on like a small, at least on just one normal summon, right? Raw Oppression still has a couple of negations left at a cost of 800 life points. Archfiend Eccentric will deal with the Beatstick and drawing the Malicious here, and I know, you know, my opponent can also use my own Royal Oppression against me, so let's just, you know, banish Malicious since I drew a second copy, bluff maybe a Chaos or something like that, right? So, okay, the opponent is indeed going to block my Malicious Summon and my special summons here with the Royal Oppression, and because I have the lovely Brain Control in hand, I can steal this game here, since again I was somewhat forced or locked by my own Royal Oppression here in this situation. So the couple of negations, maybe you could have, you know, let the special summoning go through, but still, you know, with a couple of follow-up plays that might have turned out to be bad. So, well, here in this case we see both hands, so it's much easier to see which plays should have been made, right? But again, game number 3 is where Dracopals can definitely shine, right? And, you know, with access to, I believe, only 2 Ignister here, but Ignister was at 3, having the Dino Stir in the extra deck as well. This was Dracopals pretty much at its prime, right? So much shenanigans you could do. You could go for something like Traptrix or Fleesia, for example, for the Trash's Trap Hole, interrupt any of your opponent's plays, get a search of the you know, the rank 4 exceed during the end phase. Giant Hand is definitely a good choice against a lot of older decks. Effect Negation together with, you know, the Titanic Galaxy as some extra protection. Here, I changed my mind eventually. I wasted the Malicious, but, you know, I was like, oh, let's go for Red Dragon Archfiend, but, you know, not, you know, then we are seeing, then I remembered Titanic Galaxy's effect. So yeah, so wasted the Malicious here, but in the long run it's not going to matter too much. I know he has, you know, yeah, I used for Wing Blast indeed last turn to bounce back the, yeah, the Archfiend Eccentric, but it was just a matter of time against this next turn will guarantee the draw of the Archfiend Eccentric that was put back on the top last turn. So yup, easy win, right? I mean, if Dracopals can get to start, are able to start, set up their board with big boss monsters, it's very hard for TeleDAD with their somewhat restrictive extra deck to make a return, right? If we can compare the extra deck to nowadays with more boss monsters and more, at least better synchros, right? So again, Dracopals will indeed get the 2 points and TeleDAD will get 1 point. So congrats to the people with their predictions. 2-1, Dracopals TeleDAD 4 indeed. So next match should follow very soon. Predictions are, like always, very welcome. Tidal Mermails versus Trishula Infernity. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.